Anyway, so in terms of introverted, extroverted...
Are you going to do a shoulder dance with me?
Were you doing a shoulder dance?
I did.
Let me see.
Stop paying attention.
Greetings, friends and fellow aliens, and thank you for checking out this video. My name is David. I'm here with my buddy Jacqueline and her cat, Crash Your Pants, Mr. Crash Your Pants.
Fancy Pants.
Mr. Fancy, no, not really. So what we thought to do was to compare INFJ stuff. And one of the things that I'm trying to always tell everybody, at least on this channel as much as I can and everywhere else, is that there is a difference between your cognitive functions and your personality. And cognitive functions, I try to think of it like in terms of an automobile, right? Your cognitive functions are the engine, and your personality is the color, where the doors are. Is that a thing?
Some go up. I'm pretty sure they're always
some
in the
open
same
the other
place.
way. Some of us are just in a horse and carriage still. But anyway, the engine is the same. The engine is your cognitive functions, and that's kind of how you process things. So as an INFJ, your introverted intuition is always going to be a thing. Your extroverted feeling is always going to be a thing. How you handle those and how you perceive information and how you work through being overloaded by this world, it is determined in great length by your personality. And your personalities are different. You're a New Yorker. You're different.
Yeah.
So we have some differences, but our cognitive functions are the same, and so I thought it might be to varying degrees. So I thought it might be fun to just kind of get into that.
Yeah.
If
Who's more of an INFJ?
I'm not competing. It's not going to be a competition.
No, it's not a competition. It's just fun.
It is fun.
Yeah,
I'm having a great time.
It's good. I think it's important for people to see that we're both INFJs, but we're different, and that doesn't mean we're not INFJs.
Correct. So if you haven't taken the test, there's one that I recommend. I'm not sure if I have it linked in the description. If I don't, I'll try to remember to do so. But it's on a site called Human Metrics, and it gives you your INFJ-ness kind of on like a sliding scale. Mm-hmm. So it'll give you like
like percentages, right?
Right. Like if you answered a higher percentage of them towards extroverted feeling, then
I think they break down
you.
Like the I, the N, the F, and the J, and they give you like percentages.
Right.
Like how introverted versus extroverted you are.
Correct.
Because like I always try to explain it on a spectrum. So like just because you and I are both introverts doesn't mean that we're exactly the same amount of introverted.
Right. See, and that's really important because there's a lot of people out there that say if you're an INFJ, you have to be thinking this way.
Yeah.
There was a comment that came recently on one of the videos where somebody had stated that it is impossible for an INFJ not to consider other people's feelings, and to me that's just way off base because we can be healthy people that set boundaries.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're thinking any differently. It just means that our personality is such that we're able to establish them. And so that's something that's really important to wrap your head around, is that we can all be INFJs. We can hang out as like cool INFJs, but your personality and how you handle things will be different than others. It doesn't mean that one of you is, one of you isn't. It doesn't mean that you're not still thinking in very similar ways. It's just all completely different experiences with this whole INFJ condition. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about introversion, extroversion, right?
Yeah.
And so out of the two of us, who do you think is more introverted?
You. But I also don't think that people understand the definition of introvert versus extrovert, because very commonly people think that it means like how social you are, and that's just like that's not
right
the definition of it. People always tell me like, oh, you're not an introvert, you are so bubbly and you like to be around people, and I'm like, no, I'm a very internal person. So I feel like the words, I think it's important to put that out there first to make sure that we understand what the words actually mean. Okay,
so the definition on introversion and extroversion, or at least the way that I best understand it, is that as an introvert, you recharge your battery by having alone time and by doing those things that are important to you, kind of in your own space and in your own head. As an extrovert, you are recharged by being around other people and being out and about and being very social. So if you take an introvert and you put them in that social environment that the extrovert is most comfortable in, the introvert's battery drains much faster. If you take the extrovert and lock them in a room by themselves with nothing to entertain them,
freak out.
They're really not going to be okay with that, and that will drain them very quickly. You know, they need to see their friend. That's why it's been so tough, because I think the majority of people out there are extroverts.
Yeah.
Which is why pandemic, be locked in your own home, all the introverts were like, yes, and all the extroverts were like, this really sucks now. My life didn't
change that much. The gym was just closed, and that was a bummer.
Yeah, no, I didn't really...
But, and like some of the stores, but otherwise, like, all the plant places were still open.
I mean, I'm still irritated by not being able to actually sit down in a Starbucks, but, like, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't let you do that yet.
That's a thing. Who knows?
That's fine.
But hey, June 1st, COVID's
They don't
over.
want you, like, hanging out there, I guess.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway,
so in terms of introverted, extroverted...
Are you going to do a shoulder dance with me?
Were you doing a shoulder dance?
I did.
Let me see.
Stop paying
You feel like I'm the more introverted person,
yeah,
or more comfortable that way. Do you feel like you have like that need to get out and socialize, or is it just like
yeah?
I do,
just not as often as like my friends do, I guess.
Right. What are the things that drain you about that faster than anything else? Like what drains you from being
outside? Crowded, small places, loud places, chaotic, anything chaotic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But live music, but you've been to like lots of concerts and stuff like that.
Yes, but I want to die after like 2 hours. I'm getting too old. I want to sit down. I used to like be in the pit like shoving everybody, and now I'm just like, is there a chair somewhere that I can sit in for a minute?
Somebody bring me a cup of Earl Grey.
My back hurts from standing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. That's good, because somebody's going to bring
I enjoy listening to music sitting down now. I never thought that would be
that's an old person thing.
Me. Yeah.
No,
Welcome to my 30s.
You should be doing that little teacup just while like some metal band is like raging on stage.
Yeah.
And you can just like kind of chill.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right.
Seems legit.
So the next one that I wanted to cover was intuition and introverted intuition, which is how we gather information about the world, and it is a subconscious process. So I don't feel like you can be out there being like, I'm using my intuition right now, because it's not freaking spidey sense, right? So let's just clarify that right away. It is a subconscious process, which by the very definition of it...
My intuition's telling me that you're overheating right now.
I'm always overheating, so your intuition sucks. Like, that's really obvious. If your intuition can't pick that up, then forget it. So how do you... When you get that gut feeling, and you get that instinct that something is amiss, or something is awry, or something is not right, or something is strange, that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Can you tell when that's happening? Like, do you just feel unsettled and anxious, or do you feel like, all right, like obviously something's going on and I need to figure out what it is?
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on the situation.
Right.
Not that often. I think that more often happens in like crowded places. I start to get anxious.
Right.
And I don't know.
Well, you definitely get like a feeling about certain situations where you're like, okay, like something is weird, something is not right, or what have you.
Yeah. I guess I'm people too.
And then how do you determine whether that's your intuition or paranoia?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that out. Right. Like, I think that's one of the hardest things is like how to know when it's your intuition or when you're just like doubting things because of past experiences and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
And sometimes it's, like correlation doesn't equal causation. Like you may have a feeling about something that you're just being paranoid about, but like the signs and signals are all there. That's not really intuition. That's just you getting a feeling of something that's going on. Or
like sometimes you have the feeling, but the feeling might not necessarily be what you thought it was. You know what I mean? Like you might pick up on something being off, but it might not be exactly like what you thought. Like sometimes you might be like, wow, this person is like, like didn't want to be around them, but then you don't realize maybe that there's just something else going on that you're like unaware of.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I feel like the hardest time, I feel like when an INFJ is probably most unbalanced is when your intuition is telling you something and you don't want to listen.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
you
fun.
don't
too.
want to hear it, because then you're fighting against it, but you're fighting against what your head and your subconscious process is basically saying, look, this is truth. I put together the puzzle pieces, look at it. And then you're just
Look
like,
at it.
I don't want to look at it.
Well, and then you're going to be really good at trying to tell yourself that it's not your intuition, that you're just being paranoid and you're making things up in your head because you're trying to, like, avoid that gut instinct.
Right. All right, so next on our list, moving right along, is everyone's favorite extroverted feeling.
Oh, yay.
Which for an INFJ is basically how you... I mean, I wasn't going to go directly there.
Okay.
But
My bad.
It's essentially how you tend to make decisions, is you're weighing the emotions and feelings of other people in the decisions that you make, right? Like, I'm not going to do this because I know it will upset this person. And again, when you become an unbalanced INFJ, that tends, like, this is something that I really want to do. This is my thing, but it could upset this person, so I won't. Now I just hate everything, right? Because, like, I'm not having my needs met. Instead, I'm putting those needs in front of my own. So who out of the two of us do you think would be the higher extroverted feeler?
Probably you. I mean, I feel like I definitely am, maybe to the same degree, but I think it affects you.
Right.
More than it affects me. Like, I've learned, like, when to turn it off, like, for the most part. Obviously, I'm not good at it with everything, but I have the ability to at least, like, disconnect myself from certain things that I know I need to be disconnected from.
All right.
Extroverted feeling.
So perhaps a little bit, we just handle it differently, I think, more than anything
think
else.
So.
Right?
I just try to shut it off.
Yeah, it's good. And I mean, think about the difference too. So you've got you're a feeler or you're a thinker. As a thinker, it's that logical thought process that they're making sense of everything, and the decisions are made off of. And for us, it's how we feel about the situations, which is why we're so prone to narcissistic manipulation.
Yeah,
it's so great.
And what we were saying
because that makes you
before.
feel a certain way. So.
Oh, yeah. They play on that external feeling really, really hard.
Your little claws
really,
into it.
really hard.
Right.
They're so good at acting, like, especially the covert ones, you guys.
The sneaky
We're going to
ones.
have a whole talk about it, right? We're going to do a narcissist live stream.
Oh, boy. Yes.
We're going to, because we need a safe place to talk about this trauma.
Right.
That so many of us have been through.
Well, for sure.
But that's not my point right now.
That's okay. What is your point right now?
My point is that they play on our external feeling by acting like they're so sad and so broken and they need our love and our, you know what I mean, our affection to, like, fix them, and we, like, fall for it. And then they, like, just flip the script and then they're fine. So they will play with your feelings for sure.
Right.
And that's messed up when you have that external feeling. But we were saying before that, at least for me, I used to have a drinking problem because that was, like, my way of kind of, like, trying to turn that off. And then you mentioned that it's pretty common.
The INFJs,
INFJs.
I think, are prone to unhealthy coping mechanisms in a lot of ways. And so we'll get to that because that's your SE, right? That's
Is
your
it?
extroverted
Yeah,
sense.
because, like, that, when I found out, started to unravel a lot of this, like, INFJ stuff, it, like, started to make sense. Like, why I felt the need to, like, drown that out.
So next on the list would be your introverted thinking, right? So this is your logical thought process, which, of course, is lower than your extroverted feeling.
Fun.
Which is why you'll pretty much be like, I feel like this about this certain thing. Screw logic.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of the two of us, who do you feel is the most logical?
I think it depends.
I'm not going to feel attacked.
No. I think that we're both logical in our own ways about different things.
Right. Do you feel like you are more logical now than you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I think that it takes time to learn how to not let your emotions completely rule your life and all of your decisions. Like, you have to take a step back and know that there's a balance between the two. I don't think it's healthy to just make a decision based off of logic or purely based off of emotion. You have to have a little bit of both.
That's being a whole INFJ.
A healthy, rounded individual,
Right.
regardless of INFJ or not.
I think younger INFJs in particular, you are ruled by your extroverted feeling.
Yeah.
And that's why, as a younger INFJ, you're getting steamrolled by the narcissist.
That's why I was
et
the
cetera.
emo kid too. I was sad all the time for no reason.
It was just the vibe.
Yeah.
And I do think also that your logical thought process is something that you can develop and hone and almost train in such a way. What I do for work it's very logic based because it's either right or wrong, and so things need to be. What are you shaking your head at? What's the problem? Am I talking too much?
No.
Oh.
Keep talking.
Well, whatever. So I think that you can develop it by just simply using it and trying to step back. You're never going to turn off extroverted feeling. It doesn't really work that way. You're going to be considering the emotions of other people. It's how the engine works, so to speak, in your little INFJ car, right?
Just can't please everybody.
No, and that's something that's a logical realization, right? It really is, though.
Oh.
Because people have said,
That's called a healthy boundary.
See, again, this was a thing where somebody was like, well, it's impossible for you to not consider other people's feelings.
To all INFJs.
Right. I feel personally
implying
attacked.
that we have no spine. We're not all squishes,
Right.
okay?
So, no, and we have differences in terms of how we apply logic to situations and things like that.
Yeah.
For me, when it tends to be an emotional situation, sometimes logic takes a vacation. So yeah, where was I? What were we saying? I don't remember. Something about logic.
Logic.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's nice. I like to use it. Logic.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So it's one of the more difficult things to wrap your head around as an INFJ is that you've got to step back and look at some things more logically to be balanced, right?
Yeah.
And then here's that NITI loop, right? That's your intuition gathers that information,
Right.
feeds it in, and then you try to logically make sense of it with completely skipping over the emotional component on everything else. And so what happens is that you try to do that, and your intuition starts freaking out and hoovering up more information because your logic process is like, yes, give me more. And it's really hard to step out of that.
Out just thinking about
it. It really is stressful that way.
Yes.
No, it happens.
Because you're when you become aware of it, you can't stop it from happening. Now you're just aware that it's happening. So then I get frustrated at the fact that I'm aware that it's happening and I can't stop it from happening, and then it makes me loop even more.
It's like being in open water and being eaten by
awful.
a shark, and you're like, this is cool. I'm aware of the fact that I'm being eaten by this shark right now.
This is great.
I'm going to take a selfie with the shark.
There's nothing, I might as well, because there's nothing you could do about it.
Right. It kind of has that feeling to it. It sort of sucks.
To a degree, though. You definitely can learn tools to get yourself out of it. It's just sometimes you're in the thick of it and you can't. The
biggest thing that everybody says is to engage FE. I don't know about
you.
You
mentioned that last time.
But for me, when I'm feeling that loop and I'm feeling all that stuff happening, is that if I can talk to other people and just tell me about how crappy your situation is, because then it helps me to just step out of it. I'm engaging my FE, and I'm able to sort of get out of that loop a little bit because I'm like, wow, that really sucks. And so that's cool, and it just changes the focus a little bit, which is why people say play music when you're stuck in a loop, journal, but like I said before, if somebody hands me a pen and a piece of paper when I'm overthinking, I'm going to want to shove it somewhere that's going to be really uncomfortable for them.
Snuggle with your cat.
Snuggle with your cat, right? Bite his head like a sandwich.
Water your plants.
I do, yeah.
I like repotting my plants when I'm feeling stressed out.
Come up with songs about the plants.
I do. I sing songs to my cat.
So last on our stack of our main functions, we're not getting into shadow stuff. That's an entirely different can of worms that I don't want to get into. But last is extroverted sensing. So I've been really looking forward to discussing this with Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Because she is aware of how bad I am at being aware of my surroundings and the world around me. Now,
I thought I was bad at it.
But it depends, right? Because I've had years and years of martial arts training where I'm studying.
You're very aware when we're in public.
Very highly aware. I can't have like a normal. I'm very stressed out, and I can't have a normal meal if I can't see the exits, things like that. And so I'm always kind of head on a swivel when I'm out and about because people are unpredictable and behaviors can be unpredictable, and I don't want to be in a bad situation. However,
missing a turn, on the other hand.
Okay, so while driving, and the GPS says turn right, and you point to the right, and you say get in the right lane and go right.
Right.
And I go straight.
Yeah.
Because. And then I'll just blame my extroverted sensing. Because I didn't hear the GPS or see your finger or hear you say that. I was probably stuck in my own head doing some other thing.
Yeah, you can definitely be a little unaware sometimes.
Yeah, a little bit. Now, meanwhile, you have new bruises constantly from bumping into stuff everywhere. I don't know if that's low SE or if it's just...
I've always been really clumsy like that.
Yeah.
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 I walk into the wall right here all the time, like the same
really
one over and over. I trip over my own 2 feet, like just walking, not even like tripping on something, like just tripping over my own foot. Like I'm just, sometimes I think it's like I'm in fantasy land in my head, like most of the time. I've had to learn as an adult to like bring myself down to reality for long enough to like have responsibilities like do things. Right. I was like, I feel like it's unhealthy almost to the degree that like we fantasize about things in our head because then like reality is like disappointing.
You have a very vivid internal world.
Yeah.
Right. And
which was great when I was a kid because I didn't need friends to play with.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true.
I had a great time. I didn't need toys. Like I literally didn't need anything. Like just my imagination was good enough. But
I would be sitting there locked in my own head for a long time. I mean, even just like at school.
Yeah.
You know,
staring
and
out the window,
I'm going over all this kind of stuff. Yeah, of course. And I still do it now. Like I do it in terms of writing a book. Like
I've been doing it.
Like, you know, crafting a story. That's something that's like I'm living in that world constantly just to try and, I don't know, figure it all out.
I mean, it's cool that you got it down on paper, though.
Meanwhile, not turning right when I'm supposed to because I'm stuck there.
No, but that one part in the book.
Chapter 21.
Yeah.
Everybody loves chapter 21. Yeah.
That shit was beautiful.
Well, you see there. Well, thank you. That's very nice.
It was, but that came from your head, and you put it on paper. Not very many people can do that.
No, and I mean,
I think it's a good, healthy way to get that out of your head is what I'm saying, essentially.
Right, to be able to express it. And, you know, I mean, this is the last video I did, right?
Yeah.
Was about
Which was
that.
really good. You should watch it.
It's because nobody has, really.
No, but it was really good.
Yes. Then why is it?
Because it's just
I know, it's just one of the things. It's fine. Everybody just wants to hear about the narcissist. It's fine.
We'll get there.
We're getting there. So escaping from that internal world enough to be aware of your surroundings, and I also think that low extroverted sensing is one of the reasons why you may dive into something that is very sensory in some ways when you're not feeling great about things.
Get my hands in the dirt, even if it's 2:00 in the morning.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true too. Repotting plants at 2 a.m.
Yes.
You know, of course. I think it's great for INFJs to actually escape that internal world and just go for a walk in the woods or something along those lines or anywhere. I tell people all the time, one of my favorite places to actually write is sitting at a coffee shop where I've got my headphones on, I've got my hat down. I want to be able to see the world. I just don't want to be interacting with it.
Right.
But that gives me some of that sensory input that helps me understand things. And everybody can come and go. I'm not being bothered by it. And I can still be in my own world, but kind of escape from that to just ground myself for a moment and then back into my world. For me, that worked. Maybe not for everybody.
Yeah, that's so weird to me. See, that's like how different we are. And I think it's important to highlight how different we are because if I'm trying to write something and I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, if there is any noise or like any distraction, any TV on, even if I can't hear it, if I can see it, I can't focus on what's going on inside my head. I get so easily distracted by what's going on around me.
Right.
And then I get frustrated because once I lose my train of thought when I'm writing something,
forget it.
It's gone.
Yeah.
I'm like that when I'm writing papers. I'm like
Well, I do that all
furious. And I write it in like 10 minutes, and then it looks like a damn mess. And I gotta go back in and fix it, but at least I got it out. You know, I got it out of my brain.
My editor, when she returned the manuscript to me, highlighted this part, and she's like, why did you say this 3 times? I'm like, well, because I was distracted, because I was just watching everything, and then this person had cheesecake, and I was like, oh man, cheesecake.
Exactly.
Right? And so like I just kind of lost it. So I was like, but that was my thought.
Easily distracted.
I'm going to write it again.
Or
yeah,
like, can you like center yourself like that?
Ground yourself and able to focus.
Because I can't.
I think some of those escapes,
even in the gym,
like I said, like going
if it's really busy and I can see the people in my peripheral, it distracts me from like my exercise. I think that's why people wear hats and stuff or like hoods to like keep to themselves almost. You know what I mean?
You're trying to focus on your set. Some dude's right next to you grunting and thrusting. Like it's going to be
then
like
I'm like,
weird,
oh, is that
right?
person staring at me? Oh, this person is watching me do my hip thrusts, which is like awkward for everybody. You know? It's fine. Anyway, I'm sweating. We should wrap this up.
We're gonna wrap this up.
I'm sweating. You must be dying.
I am. I'm actually
the
melting.
joys of filming indoors and when it's hot out.
I have an internal melting going on right now. So to wrap this up, right? You can be an INFJ, another person can be an INFJ. It does not, just because you're an INFJ.
We're not the same person.
You're not the same person, right?
I'm not mistyped.
This is why I don't like that they call it 16 personalities, because that would indicate that
our personalities are totally different.
Right, because it's
we have a lot in common, that's why we're friends.
But that's the thing, because it's not personality.
Yeah, but like our interests and like the things that we like are similar, but that doesn't have anything to do with us being INFJ.
Right.
Like I think we do tend to be a little nerdy though. Like we like the more like obscure
INFJs tend to be nerdy
stuff. Yeah, I think we just identify more with like.
Well, things that are mysterious or things that are like ghost stories or science fiction or aliens feeds that vivid internal world of ours, right? Anime and stuff like that. Of course, those are the stories. It's not logic based. I mean, neither of us are going to sit there and just like read some person's biography from like 1643 or something. That sounds
terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Let us know in the comments, how INFJ do you feel on these things? How much INFJ do you feel in terms of your intuition, in terms of your extroverted feeling and how you make decisions?
There's those other letters too, right?
There's what
the
other
T
letters?
And the...
Okay, so the A and the T, the assertive or turbulent, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you'll get
if you it as well.
So that's from like a different kind of personality type thing, right? You'll get that result if you take the test of human metrics.
Right.
16 personalities doesn't do. I don't think they do the.
No, it's just
maybe
that
they do.
One that does it.
I'm not sure if they do. Yeah.
No, it's just that one because I've taken them on all the websites multiple times.
Right, and from my understanding, I haven't dived into
it would be different.
I haven't. It doesn't work that way. I've taken
I
the
do
test.
think it's important to continuously like retake it though, like every couple of years.
I'm at a point now though where like I've studied this enough that like if you told me to take it and get the result of an ESFJ, I probably could.
Yeah.
You know, because like I know how they think.
How to answer it.
Right. So that kind of skews it, but
it's important to like really know yourself going into it. So it's hard for young people to test accurately, I think.
It's almost like you really have to be very honest with yourself.
Yeah.
The A and the T is assertive or turbulent,
right.
And I guess that's like how firm you are and everything else. One more quick thing that I wanted to get on because this is actually really funny is the J. Right, the judging trait.
Oh yeah, my
judging
favorite
as far as perceiving, right?
Yeah.
And the basic way is perceivers can kind of go with the flow a bit more than the judgers can.
That must be nice.
The judgers sort of need things. They need the square thing to be in the square hole and the round thing to be in the round hole, and so on and so forth. Things need to be in place, and they have to make sense.
Yeah.
Right. So you, for instance, you're like the crosswalk is there for people to use a crosswalk, though you may not.
Well, I'm from New York, so that doesn't count. We don't use the crosswalk.
No.
You just cross the street.
Yeah, you just
People will stop.
You just get hit by cars.
Unless it's a taxi, he ain't stopping. You're gonna get hit.
So I think that J is something where it's like you have to make sense of things. You need them in the right place. maybe it comes off as a little bit stubborn at times.
Isn't that what makes us like make no sense though? Because like we're big thinkers, you know, the whole
idealistic.
Yeah, but then
sure.
you need rules and structure, so like they almost don't make sense together.
Yeah, but then also you have that whole like independent INFJ thing where you're like, these rules don't apply to me. I'm an INFJ.
I hate being told what to do, but then at the same time,
Follow
like I
rules.
need structure.
Right. So this is why, as an INFJ, if you make plans with somebody or there's plans for a party or something like that, and let's say it's like, I don't know, like a baby shower or some such thing, and then there's like plans, but then at the last minute it's like, well, no, we're going to do this instead, and you have a really hard time with that, that's the J. Right? That's the J being like...
I was mentally preparing for the other thing.
Right.
You haven't given me enough time to mentally prepare.
You process
for
it
the new
all.
thing.
Everything was in its rightful place. I know what time I have to get ready. I know what I'm expected to
I
bring.
didn't even want to go to the first thing in the first place.
Well, I mean, there's that too, like, obviously.
Yeah.
But then the plans change, and it's like full-on meltdown because now I've got to redo all of that stuff in my head and get prepared for it, and now I don't want to go.
And I probably don't have anything to wear anyway.
Right. I'm just going to lay on the floor with like a pair of pants halfway on, just crying. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of this. We really appreciate it. Please give Jacqueline a visit on her page, Jacqueline's Jungle. I'll leave a link in the description. Talk to us down there. Leave some emojis, say hi, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to see more content like this, please let us know.
Nice.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and all that kind of stuff.
Leave a cat emoji
Give
for
the-
Crash Your Pants.
That's a good
if you
one.
made it to the end of this video.
It should be a cat and a peach.
There you go.
Because
he
butt
dragged his
has
ass
really
across the carpet.
That's good.
I don't think there's a carpet emoji, but if
No,
you can
there's
find
not.
one. Or there might be like the magic carpet.
It could be. All right, we got to wrap this up because the battery's going to go down.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. And
Come
I'll
join the plant fam.
catch you on the next video.
Bye. I'm still not going to do it. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, look, I'm not the first person to say this, but as an INFJ, you kind of feel like a walking, talking conflict most
Paradox.
times. Right, yeah, it is very paradoxical because, like, you want to consider other people's
Paradoxical?
emotions. That's a word.
That's a real word?
Paradoxical.
Paradoxical.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that sounds weird to say when I'm talking about feeling. But as a thinker, it is more of the logical process, right? These are the things,
I don't know. Is it fuzzy or hair?
Sometimes I have fuzzies. So-
No. If somebody's mad at me over something or they're upset and I feel like I didn't do anything wrong, like I'm not, like sweat off my forehead. Is that a saying?
Right. We're not just a bunch of spineless, wormy squishes. I mean, sometimes I'm a little squishy.
You could be a little,
Could be a little squishy.
like in a cute way, not in like a physically squishy way.
But I'm good too.
I'm blocking all the light. You have to sit back a little and I'll sit forward a little. No, not that much. That's too much.
Oh, well, thanks.
Squish it first. You got a squishable face, so squish it.
Right, whatever. Brow?
But
I
that's
think you're
my
mixing the whole
forehead.
thing with ducks and water off their back. It's fine. What the fuck was that?
You know, it was that word for when something is like so cute that you want to like smother it.
It's called cute aggression.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's called
That's
cute
how
aggression.
I feel about you.
That is a thing. It's how you feel about your cat. That's why you put his
Yeah.
head in your mouth. And sweat. It's
I'm
no
so
sweat off a
bad.
duck's bill.
I'm so bad at sayings. This is why I can't.
No sweat off a marmoset's ass. Because you're like, he's so cute.
you
I just
gotta
need to
call
like
me out like
a
that?
like a sandwich. He just wants to. Oh,
He has a little head.
he does have a little.
And
He
a
has a
big
cute little
mouth.
head. I've thought about biting his head on numerous occasions. This is-
I gotta take a picture.
yeah, no, you should definitely do that. And we can just post a.
Oh my god. Crash, you're too funny.
Going to show you. I'll just put it on screen, right? This is. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening right now at our feet.
Look at that belly. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's fine.
hey,
He's gonna. This will.
don't eat that plant.
This will literally never get done. It's fine.
You should turn your phone off.
It's really not a condition. Is that my phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta move the chicken. I didn't want to rustle the bag.
Move the chicken.
Move the chicken!
Move the chicken and don't rustle the bag. Boy, it was a really good point until he dragged his ass across the
Sorry, I
carpet. It
couldn't
was so
help it.
distracting.
I was trying not to say
He was
anything.
just like doing that little
When I
scoot
was
with
laughing.
his butt like that. It's 24/7.
It is so hard to film with a cat who wants to be in your business all the time. Be
Yes.
thankful that your cat just lays there.
No, she just
And she's just
she
cute.
Just looks
She's
cute.
like-
yeah, no, that's all she does.
He's fine.
Let's let the internet see this. My God, it's like cat porn.
Come on, fat boy.
Oh my gosh. His little belly swings to and fro when he runs.
He's such a pain in my ass. I just have to keep the chicken.
Greetings,
on hand.
friends and fellow aliens, for the third time.
What are you laughing at?
His ass is staring at me right now. Yeah, there's a... Okay. So,
Just start over from the top of your
it doesn't
sentence.
matter where he is. He will create noise. How am I supposed... It's like the eye of Sauron. Hey, like, I don't know.
Just smile and be normal.
Okay.
I'm not dramatic.
You are the mannequin.
You're gonna have to put that up on the screen now. It's just really yeah.
Yes. So this mannequin that I'm going to put up on screen, that mannequin's an INFJ.
Pretty much.
Let's just go from there. I'll have to find
That's
that.
how we
meme.
all feel about life these days. I feel like just give up. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. But I
I
can.
might be a little dramatic sometimes. I'm really actually fucking.